In John chapter 4, let's read verses 19 to 21. Excuse me for that. 19 to 21 in John 4. And think about this for just a moment about your life. This is the woman at the well. And Jesus just gave her a word of knowledge and explained to her, oh, yes, the man you're living with is not your husband, and you've had 5 other husbands. And she's like, oh, my gosh. The woman's response at the well is very simply this. The woman says to Jesus, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, and you Jews say that in Jerusalem is the place where we ought to worship. But Jesus said to her, Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. Think about that for a moment. So he's talking about worship is not about a physical location or even a time or particular space. So worship is in spirit and truth. What does that mean to you, though? Worship the Father in spirit and truth. What does that mean to you?
Well, and obviously you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm so stirred by this scripture. I love that Jesus is telling her that it will no longer be about where or what or works, right? But that it'll be by the Spirit, that we can worship Him in spirit and in truth. And I did hear from a theologian friend of mine years ago that another translation of in truth is without shame.
Wow.
And I thought, man, that's just so powerful, because you and I were talking about what is worship, and we're always saying that it goes beyond a worship setting in a church, that it's a lifestyle. But just the further I dig in the scripture and just kind of learn even what that phrase by the Spirit means, because we're constantly seeing that and hearing that in the scripture. But it just means that someone is living fully and abundantly and using all of the access that they've been given on this side of the new covenant to truly approach God, and without shame, and trusting that God can do it by His Spirit, and trusting that you will see the fruits of the Spirit in your life as you believe in Him. It's the whole thing, just that when you believe in God, you receive the deposit of His Spirit within you. And before that covenant, we weren't allowed to worship. So this new covenant and the sacrifice of Jesus has actually made everyone a worshiper, has allowed everyone to bear the title of a worshiper, and that we don't have to worship the same way that they did, that we can approach God in spirit and in truth. And so really the full definition of living a lifestyle of worship is living a lifestyle by His Spirit according to the new covenant of the Spirit of God. Wow. And just as I've come into the knowledge of that and just realized, I'm like, wow, like worship is so simple to explain to someone. It's living according to the new covenant fully, and fully trusting in that and in what that means for your life. And it's so much more easier nowadays than it was, because it's according to you, whether or not you choose to believe that He is the Son of God, and that He came to the earth and He walked among us, and that He died, that He was the ultimate sacrifice, that there's nothing that can separate you from the love of God. And that is walking and living a true lifestyle of worship. Asking yourself, am I doing this today? Am I living a life trying to earn God's love? Has the enemy planted a seed in my mind that has attacked my confidence of how connected I am to the Spirit of God? That means that worship is even in you this is way off of what you would think the subject of worship is, but it's even in connecting to the Spirit of God and allowing God to speak to you and through you to a lost person about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like that is worship, and so I've just been so moved by that thought. And I told you when I brought this up, I was like, I know you have all the scriptures, and I just want to hear even what you think about that, because it's just been blessing me.
I love it though, you made it so simple that its worship is really a response to revelation, in essence, to the new covenant. The reality of what Jesus did for us produces a kind of worship that makes sense could not exist in the Old Testament because they hadn't experienced this redemption yet. Now, by faith, some tasted it in seed form. Like Abraham heard the gospel before anybody else, and he believed the gospel, but he received the gospel in seed form, and we get to have, he actually tasted the new covenant in seed form, Abraham, by faith. But we get to experience the new covenant in full form, in will to us in Jesus, right? And so, but I just love the way you're making it so clear that it's revelation of the new. The more you learn about what God's word says about you and about worship and about him and about the kingdom, it instills worship.